Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, it's science on the Bourbon Note. All right, Ben, what's up today?
Well, this is going to be a very controversial video. We're probably going to lose some subscribers over it.
People enjoy this kind of thing.
We've been teasing doing this for a long time, and we're finally just going to do the science and find out, is the neck pour real?
And so what we have here is a bottle that we opened, let's say, 2 months ago and did a review of it here on the channel.
And
then it's
kind of
not
really just drank the neck down to the shoulders.
Yeah, and I don't think I've touched it since then.
Sure.
And then you just picked this up. It's still sealed.
Yep.
And so we're going to do a pour of each of them and see if there's a difference.
And these are both batch 2. So this is a batched product, so these should be the exact same. But what we're also going to do...
stick around to the end of the video because...
Well, stick around to the middle of the video because this is only half the video.
Okay.
We're also going to do, bam, we have single barrels, unopened.
One single barrel,
versus
2 bottles.
open. Yep, so these are the exact same single barrels. So we will get into that as well.
Yes.
So we're going to start with a batched product, see if we notice anything. We're going to open the seal right here on camera. Normally we cut this out because sometimes this gets a little... You know, you try to open the damn thing and I can already tell I don't have enough. I bit my nails down too far to get this thing open. So we're gonna have the neck or the non-neck pour on the right.
Right, the open bottle.
I'm gonna need your knife.
Okay.
This is why we do this off camera.
Typically
but we don't want to
off-camera.
get accused of not actually having a fresh pour here.
Violating the space time.
Nice pour considering we're doing basically 4 glasses of whiskey for this. Oh, there we go. That's probably a more logical way of doing that. Fresh cork pop, kind of weak.
Yeah, it's kind of okay.
We do have to pour about the same amount to make the nosing fair because I do find if you don't pour
A little bit more.
enough.
A little bit less. No, that's close enough. Perfect.
We can do the blend at the end.
The blend.
So those are about the same. Okay.
Jack Daniel's 20 year.
Yeah. So let's just give really quickly our opinion. And so you and I don't really subscribe to the neck pour.
And we don't want to go deep into the details, but we've had a bottle of Buffalo Trace that's been open for 2 years that we kept drinking down and then locking it away for a year and then trying it again.
And then compared it.
Can't find a difference.
That was more of a compare, like, does your whiskey go bad if it's
at the 90.
too little? But people talk about the neck pour all the time. They say, well, I had this bourbon. I didn't like it at first. I left it for a couple weeks after the neck pour. It really opened up and I liked it better next time. It's like, yeah, but you're going off of memory from a couple weeks ago. Whatever you ate that day is going to affect that.
I think it's
whatever
that
you
kind
did.
of thing. If you just had tacos versus if you just had something else, you know, like...
It's not the same as drinking them literally right next to each other in the same sitting. So that's what we're going to go for here
So here's
today.
what we're jumping into if you've not had this bottle. This is 97 proof and 10-year Jack Daniel's limited release. And we've been obviously lucky enough to find 2 of them.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing.
On the nose, I'm noticing absolutely no difference.
I got an interesting note on there that...
As we said at the beginning, the bottle that was already open had only had 2 pours out of it. So
Yeah.
it was open and the neck pour was gone. But this is going to be interesting because this is still mostly full. But on the single barrels, one of those bottles is mostly empty.
Right.
So that's also going to be interesting to see if maybe that does anything.
Yeah, we've tried one of those bottles several times.
Yep.
On the channel.
So I'm noticing absolutely no difference on the nose.
So I'm getting a very interesting note, and I don't want to prejudice our opinion of it, but it's a weird note that I get occasionally, and I don't remember getting it on Jack Daniel's before, but I'm getting it on both. So anyway.
So are you noticing a difference on the nose?
No, I get the same weird note, and I happen to like this whiskey a ton, but just today I happen to notice.
So let's go with the already open bottle.
Okay, that's the one.
And then
on the right.
apparently the neck pour should get worse, according to everyone's theory, because everybody says the neck pour it's not known for being the best pour of whiskey. It's known for being the,
Okay.
you know, you let that one go. So, all right, let's get into this for the first sip here. Cheers.
Such a really interesting bottle.
It is. It's coming. Swallowed just before I started talking, and then just didn't really quite get that finished before I went into my sentence. So I'm going to leave that in.
Yeah, everyone enjoys.
It is. It's coming across a little thin today. So I remember really liking this, and I just picked this bottle up. I won the lottery, or opportunity to purchase it from a lottery.
So when we got this one 2 months ago, my wife picked up a 10 and a 12, and we did the comparison. We liked the 10 more. The 12.
I thought the 10 was a little sweeter.
Yeah, the 12 was a little wood forward.
But this is not a review, it's a comparison. So let's get into the next one. Purposely no water because that's going to influence the taste. So now I'm going into the neck pour.
I'm getting a bit of cherry, which kind of traditional Jack Daniel's note, but
by the way, and you're gonna have to take us at our word on this. I'm not looking to reinforce our opinion on the neck pour. To be honest, I would find it very interesting to find out that, wow, this really does make a difference, because that would influence how I kind of approach tasting whiskey. And if there is a difference, I genuinely want to know that.
I honestly can't tell a difference at all.
I cannot tell a difference at all.
You could put these on one of those magic spinning wheel things and like grab one of them. No idea.
Yeah, it definitely not a difference. So the other thing that we're looking for out of this, and I don't want to go too long on this because we do have another one to try. And this doesn't have anything to do with these particular bottles, but just this experiment in general is like, if you're changing the way you approach drinking whiskey, like you don't want to try the neck pour, or you're assuming if you got a neck pour, say you're at a bottle tasting and you get the first pour out of the bottle. I certainly don't think getting the first pour out of a bottle versus the guy who got the third pour out of that same bottle that same night is going to make any difference at all.
But so answer this. When you drove home with this in your car a couple days ago, the bottle was doing this on the back seat, right? How did that not just mix it up? Maybe if this had sat for 10 years, but I just don't understand.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's that it's touching the air in the bottle. I think it's just that there's only this much air in the bottle. There's that much whiskey. And so the more air that gets in there, the more alcohol can evaporate every time the cork's open. And maybe there is something to be said about that when it gets down to...
I think when it gets down to the 95% gone,
yeah. Now,
I think legitimately there could be something, and we've done it and really couldn't tell it then.
Yep.
But when it's brand new, I just don't think so.
The other thing is keep in mind, this has been exposed to air before. Like there's air in the barrel.
Okay.
And then when the barrel is dumped, it gets dumped
in the batch,
through a filtering thing, and then it gets batched, and then it's exposed to
Well, the
air.
Lincoln County process has air in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's plenty of air.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's take a pause real quick. We'll get fresh Glencairns. We'll bring in the single barrels, and then we'll try it with a single barrel finished whiskey at a higher proof that's also on a much lower level, and we'll see if there's any change. Please hold. Okay, we're back. Thank you for staying through that little pause. Now we have a single barrel product. This is from Storytime Distillery, Friday Night at Fred's, or Friday at Fred's, I should say. This is a Jepson's product. It's a cognac finished bourbon cigar blend, and it is, what's the proof on this one? 120.52.
Yep.
So a little bit higher proof.
And this one we've had several times on the channel. And
obviously.
It's 2/3 of the way gone, almost 3/4.
So let's get to pouring here.
And go ahead and open that one up.
This is a fresh crack.
Yep.
Screw off top.
It is.
You can hear it break.
I will tell you, this is just about my favorite bourbon that I've had this year. It's in the top.
It is really good.
It's in the top 2 or 3. So.
Wrong cap. You almost mixed up the caps.
Yep.
It's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. You don't want to do that.
Is that a bad thing?
Yes, it's a very bad thing. I think we may have just done it.
Nope, I made sure.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so
All right,
we have
so
the
we'll do Friday at Fred's on the front.
we have the already opened one on the right, and as we said before in the video, this one's going to be different because this one is. I've had this for a couple months.
Yes.
So this isn't just one that was open and only had the neck pour like the previous one. So, boy, if there's going to be a difference,
I would
it should
expect
be on
it
this
more
one.
on this one than the Jack.
Oh, geez. I need to pour just a tad more in here because these are uneven, and that will affect the nose, I have found.
Yep.
So let's not waste too much time yapping about these and just get into the science.
Such a wonderful bourbon.
It is.
Noticeably different nose.
Really?
Yeah, I got more of a sweet tart, like a sweeter sweet tart kind of note on this one. For whatever reason, I really get like candy notes on these. Like it is such a sweet, interesting bourbon. Not too sweet, but very prominent finished.
All right. Nose them a few times. See if you still get the same thing. Then I'll share my opinion.
I mean, they're similar. Like, I mean, it's in the same family, but
I got nothing.
maybe vanilla on this one, and
I'm getting no difference at all in this one
one
either.
is like watermelon. Like,
I'm getting the sweet tart sort of vibe, but I'm getting it on both.
yeah, I'm getting just slightly more vanilla and slightly more like a watermelon like candy on this one. So at this point, I think maybe I'm like not totally unconvinced. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing for difference on these. So
Okay.
let's go into the open one first here, see what happens. Cheers.
Okay.
You get one more sip of that, just because I love this stuff.
You notice the proof, it really punches.
Yeah. This is not a 120 proof bourbon that drinks below its its proof point.
It has a presence. There's still the sweet tarts, kind of like the candy kind of like hanging around, but it's not as prominent. It's a little bit more spice forward from ethanol. It's really ethanol forward, but not in a bad way. It's wonderful.
I got to do this again. Hold on. Now I'm going this way and that way. I tasted both of them.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to the fresh crack.
I bet you are.
Bottle crack.
I'm really, really looking for it on this one. I don't know if it's there. I know this makes for riveting content when we're dead silent, but I'm just really trying to... On the nose, I'm getting nothing different.
I genuinely think these taste the same, and this one is a little bit, like, let's say 5% more interesting, where this is slightly, very, very slightly more muted. It's the same notes, it's the same family.
Here's the thing, though. What order did you drink them in the last sips you took?
I've only gone this one and then this one.
Now go the other way. Because I'm doing that back and forth. And just when I think maybe I noticed a difference, I do it the other way, and it's like, nah.
Okay.
I'm really looking for it. Just because if there's going to be one of these two bottles that makes a difference, you'd think it would be, I mean, these two, between the Jack Daniels and this one, you'd think it would be this experiment because it's so much lower in the bottle. It's been months. You know, I would say this. If I'm noticing anything, which I don't think I am, I'm kind of trying to go back and forth. They are 120 proof. Your palate is going to get blown out a little bit as you're tasting these. Mm-hmm. So the more I just go back and forth, it's just kind of, I think, numbing my palate a little bit equally. Mm-hmm. I am not noticing a difference enough here that I would say that this, if you mix these up, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one is which. At all. For sure, I wouldn't.
I think I'm probably agreeing with you, but I seem to get a little bit more of a spice note on this and a sweet tart note on this.
Okay.
I get the same notes on both, but one, like the sweet tart note is just slightly ahead on this one, and the spice note is a little bit ahead on this one.
In conclusion, I would say this. So let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we did take the Jack Daniel's 10 years and we set them aside. If you watch this channel, you know we're going to do the blend. Okay.
Wait a minute.
So we will get to that. But let's just do like an in conclusion. And this is going to be my in conclusion. You can have, your own as well. This is what I've come to. After doing this experiment today, and after doing the previous one where we had the Buffalo Trace that was open for a year and compared it and whatever, I would say this. Maybe there is something to be said. I personally am not getting it, but you seem to be. But you said about 5%. Pretty good margin, like small margin there. When people say the whiskey really, because I hear from a lot of people say, I opened it up, I tried to pour, I didn't like it. I came back to it 2 weeks later, it opened up. I think if you're pouring a 2-ounce pour out of a bottle and coming back 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even 6 months later, having that much out of the bottle, I don't think that you're getting anything different. I think it's probably...
It's 100% you.
It's
your... No, it's your palate.
It's your fault.
It's your palate.
It's a situational thing.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that your palate is just a bit different that day.
Yes.
Maybe you're a little dehydrated. Maybe you had something different for lunch. Maybe you did this, or that. I don't buy that. Just pouring the neck pour alone.
Yep.
Now, having a bottle for a few months down to this level, maybe it does change it a little bit.
A couple of percentage points, very slight change in flavor profile. I'm willing to concede that that's possible.
And what I'm willing to say about that is possible. I think the idea of that, and along with the neck pour, is grossly over-exaggerated.
Absolutely.
Because people live and die by that, like the neck pour. Like, well, I tried that, but it was the neck pour, so who knows? Don't bother with that. It's fine. If you get a neck pour out of a bottle, it's going to taste just as good as it's going to taste 4 weeks from now. But let's stop blabbing about this. In conclusion, obviously, we're not. This hasn't changed my mind on the neck pour. I think it's just grossly over-exaggerated.
Neck pour, nothing at all.
Don't worry about it. Don't base your bourbon drinking on it.
And don't worry about the fact that you take your time to finish a bottle either. It's going to change it a tiny bit. It's not by any means going to ruin it.
And it might change it for the better. Who knows?
Totally.
I mean, that's the thing. So just let the whiskey be what it is. Yeah. Don't feel like you have to hurry your way through a bottle because there's too much air in it. Let the whiskey just naturally run its course.
I will tell you, this blend smells pretty freaking amazing, by the way.
It's completely changed. So speaking of blends, let's bring in the Jack Daniel's 10. We did pour our other ones both into one Glen.
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. So now we have the half Jack Daniel's.
So 120, 97, 97. We're well over 440-ish.
Yep, do the math on that. Yeah. Well, this is 120 point.
Yeah.
5.2.
438-ish.
All right. Let's get into the blend on this. Half Jack Daniel's 10 year, half Jack Daniel's 10 year, half Friday at Fred's, half Friday at Fred's, because math.
And the reality is, do you believe anybody has ever done this particular blend in the history of the world?
I don't think it matters because I don't believe anyone's still watching this at this point.
Yeah, I guarantee we have some fans who are still watching.
Yeah, the ride or die folks, I suppose.
Yeah, and they're amazing. But
let's get into it here. Cheers.
I'm getting actually more the nutty note that you threw out.
I am too, yeah. That's a pretty freaking good blend.
It's interesting.
The 97 proof tames the 120 on this.
It does.
But it tastes great.
I'm getting actually some of the grape forwardness, I guess cognac, notes are kind of like becoming prominent, and that's not normally a Jack Daniel's thing. Does Jack Daniel's do finished stuff very much? Yeah.
It's the triple mash, like a
that's
finish.
Right.
Other than that, I don't think they do a whole lot. Great legs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've been meaning to. I'm just trying to figure out a way to work that into the conversation. I mean, I've been wanting to say it, but, thanks for not making that weird. Yeah, this is really good. So if you have these two bottles, well, not these
four
two
bottles.
The 4 bottles. Definitely try this one out. All right, we need to wrap this up.
Well, this has been a really good
because
day.
A, the video is going too long. B, we've already done the science. We've come to the conclusion. C, I'm starting to get drunk. So let's one more sip here.
This is a really good blend.
Yeah, that's a really good blend, actually.
But neck pour, no way.
Yeah.
Well-used bottle, very slight difference.
Yep. Grossly over-exaggerated. We'll leave it at that.
All right. Who are you?
What?
Who are you? Don't you normally say, this has been the Bourbon Note,
I was just about to.
I was prompting.
This has been Science on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.